Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2008 Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This is the fourth film in the Indiana Jones franchise. Fifth movie is slated. It is in production. It's supposed to come out next year, 2022. I'm not quite certain if that's still a thing because of COVID regulations and things, but we shall see. So Harrison Ford is back as Henry Jones II, aka Indiana Jones. Marion is back. We haven't seen her since the first film. Kate Blanchett plays a character in this film who's pretty badass. So this takes place in 1957. So it's been what year was the last one? 1938. 19 years, right? For 29 years. I can't do math. Let's do math together, shall we? 38 plus 29 is 67. No. So it is 19 years. So it is 57, right? 39 plus 19. No. What did I say? 38? 38 plus 19. 7, carry the 1. 4, 5. 1957. 19 years. It's been 19 years since the last film. Okay, we did math. We did visual math. We start out in the government facility, like the giant government warehouse in Nevada, where the Ark of the Covenant was left in the first film. And we see it very briefly after, boxes explode and car chases galore. Indy is basically kidnapped by these Russians, who are not called Russians, they're called Soviets. But they speak Russian. I don't know much about the Cold War, and I don't know when the Soviet Union became Russia. I don't know that timeline. But yeah, so the Russians, led by Kate Blanchett, are trying to find something in this warehouse. They knock over all the crates. Like I said, we see a glimpse of the Ark of the Covenant, which is a pretty cool nod. As the remnant, what they're looking for is this magnetized coffin, basically. But this sarcophagus has an alien inside from Roswell, and it's dated 1947. The date of 1947, the year of 1947 is referenced, that Indiana was taken to Roswell, New Mexico, to examine in pieces of a ship or something like that. And there was mangled bodies everywhere, but that was really it. They couldn't really decipher anything. So there's one particular mangled-bodied. The skeletal structure of these particular aliens are made from this type of crystalline substance, and therefore hence the crystal skull. So what is the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? We then later meet this character, Mutt Williams, played by Shia LaBeouf. This is 2008, so this is the year right after Transformers came out. This was peak Shia LaBeouf, late aughts, early 10s, peak Shia LaBeouf. So we then later learn that Mutt's mom is actually Marion, and she never said this to Indiana nor Mutt, whose real name is Henry Jones III. So that was a pretty cool nod that we've learned. So Mutt and Marion's friend Oxley, who's also a professor, he has gone missing, but he sent Marion some letters, and then Marion went looking for her, and then Marion got taken herself, and then it's just Mutt, and Marion kind of said to, not get the help of Indiana Jones, but of course Mutt gets the help of Indiana Jones. And so Indiana and Mutt are off on a quest to find Oxley and to find Marion, which they then find. So we're going from, where are we going? We're going from New York to Peru. The film takes place primarily in Peru, and then we go to North Peru, which is where the kingdom is discovered. The kingdom is referenced by the Spaniards as El Dorado, but in the native Mayan, it's referenced as something with a K. I forget the name. And so there's, of course, booby traps galore, and the natives are trying to defend the land and all of these things. And then the crystal skull was found by Oxley in a cemetery. So he brings the skull back to the cemetery after he brings it to the temple where he was trying to, get the obelisk to work to be the key, because the obelisk is the key. Oxley kept speaking in rhyme because apparently the skull of these aliens, which is this crystalline substance, is tapping into a part of your brain which isn't fully developed yet, because human brains are only like 11% developed or something like that. So it opens up more of the psyche to then see more of the truth, to see more through the different veils, through the different dimensions. So these aliens are not aliens, they're interdimensional travelers, but they're still alien because they're not from this planet. They're not from Terra. So there you go. They're aliens with crystalline bone structures. So then eventually we get to the main pit. We see different relics from different cultures, you know, Greek, Sumerian, Babylonian, Macedonian, everything. And then we get to an actual chamber of 13 full skeletal structures of ancient beings, alien beings, with one skull missing. The skull reattaches itself. And then it turns out that that everything is a spaceship this entire time. So then as the walls start to crumble, our mighty heroes leave said temple, which crumbles around a spaceship, and the spaceship warps into interdimensional travel. And then our four heroes watch as the water concaves down to wash away the footprints that once was. So Indy's explaining to Mutt, who's curious why it was called, you know, the City of Gold, and then he was explaining something with that Mayan word for gold isn't actually gold, it's more like treasure. And treasure in this case was wisdom, not actual physical treasure. So it was a nice little catch on that. And then the very end, you have Marion marrying Indiana. So we shall see. We will see what happens with Mutt Williams, whose real name is Henry Jones III, because I don't think Shia LaBeouf was announced as being a part of the fifth Indiana Jones film. But it makes sense because they're bringing him as an actual son of Marion and Indy into this canon timeline. And then we have Marion and Indy, you know, being together. I don't know if the actress who played Marion is coming back as Marion, but I know Harrison Ford is coming back as Indiana. But then again, like I said, Short Round was a big character in the second one, which is really a prequel, but we don't really know anything about him. I actually had to look it up. Like, something is referenced that Short Round goes to boarding school in 1936 and eventually becomes an archaeologist himself. But, like, where is that in the canon of the films? It's not in the canon of the films. So, like, I would have to read comics or watch the, I don't know, TV series. No, the TV series was about young Indiana. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I just hope we get more information on Mutt's character in this fifth movie. Whether Shia is in it or not, I would love for Shia to be in it. I miss Shia playing the action-packed, you know, kind of roles of my youth. But, yeah, I think it'd be a disservice if we don't have information in regards to Mutt after this film, going into the fifth film. I really hope they don't kill him off. But we shall see. I don't know. We now have aliens thrown into the mix of the Indiana franchise. But it makes sense when you think about it, because archaeology is exploring what the ancients viewed as their gods, right? And in all cultures, you all have praising towards a higher being, praising towards higher beings, primarily sun gods or, you know, water gods, air god, whatever, right? And a lot of different cultures have pyramid structures, have giant monoliths dedicated to these extraterrestrial beings that they viewed as gods. So it brings into that whole magic is just science we haven't understood yet kind of a thing. So their religion, which is therefore created into a mythology, is viewed as different magics, which is actual science that they primitive-wise didn't understand yet. And then here we are slowly starting to understand it. So, man, history. History's fun. You gotta just like history. And I really like that multiculturalism of the Indiana Jones franchise, which we've talked about in the other reviews. And that's why I love the Fast and the Furious films. Multiculturalism. Every Indiana Jones film takes place in more than one country, and every Fast and Furious film, except for the first and second, takes place in more than one country. That's the beauty of multiculturalism. We are one big world. We're all supposed to work together. Okay. Enough ranting. Thus concludes our multimedia marathon of Indiana Jones, and we did 101 Dalmatians before that, and we did all the Alien and Predators film before that. We're going to break very briefly so I can catch up on sleep. And, yeah, good times throwing work into all of this as well. Sleep is important. Food is important as well as, yeah. So we're going to watch whatever new movies come out. Purge 5 doesn't come out till July, so we got a month. About a month. I'm recording this on June 2nd, so we got about a month before we start the Purge films. That'll be the next marathon of movies I'll do. Yeah, we'll do whatever new stuff comes out, whatever new TV shows comes out, because Love, Victor Season 2 comes out like next week or something like that, so that we got to prep for. I think I'm good. At this point, I'm just talking to myself, but thank you for joining me in my various ranting of randomness rambles. There's your 3 R's. To that we say goodnight. Mucho mahalo.